You're not tired. You're untrained. Written and published by Naqib Lehri. Introduction. Are you really tired? Or is it just your mind begging for comfort before you've even tapped into your true power? We've all felt it. That moment when your body gives out, your breath shortens, and a voice inside whispers, "You've done enough. Stop here." But in that same moment, there's another version of you, quiet but alive. A version that knows your real strength and screams, "This isn't your limit. This is your starting line." This book is about those moments. It's written for the part of you that's been held back for too long, not by weakness, but by the lie that you're too tired, too late, or too far behind. You're not tired. You're just untrained. The world has trained you to seek safety, comfort, and the easiest way out. This book exists to train you for something else. Discipline, power, fire, movement. This isn't just another motivational book. This is your battle manual. It's for the ones who wake up with fire but go to bed with regret. It's for the ones who keep breaking promises to themselves. It's for the ones who are tired of being average and know they were built for more. This book will shake you, push you, and remind you that there's a version of you that's been locked behind laziness, fear, excuses, and comfort. It's time to break that lock. Each chapter is a strike to the system, a disruption of every excuse you've ever told yourself. It's not meant to be gentle, it's meant to be real. And remember this, you're not tired. You're just untrained, but not for long, not anymore. Now begins the real training. Let's go. Chapter 1. The Lie of Limits. Have you ever stopped chasing something just because you felt tired? Have you ever said, "I can't go any further," not because your body was breaking down, but because your mind whispered that it was enough? That moment, when you chose to stop, wasn't the limit of your ability. It was the edge of your training. You weren't truly tired. You were simply untrained. We live in a world where the word limit has been misused. People often use it to justify their lack of progress. "I've reached my limit," they say, as if limits are fixed, as if they are carved into our DNA. But the truth is far more liberating. Most of your limits are lies. They were taught to you by a society that praises comfort, shaped by experiences that lacked challenge, and reinforced by people who settled too soon. Limits aren't real, not in the way you think they are. They are like invisible fences built by fear, past failures, and self-doubt. And the cruelest thing about them is that they feel real. That's the trick. When your heart is racing, your breath shortens, and your muscles scream, your mind tells you, "You're done." But what if that's not the end? What if that's the beginning? Athletes, soldiers, entrepreneurs, artists, the ones who rise beyond the ordinary, all have one thing in common. They learn to question the lie of limits. When they felt tired, they trained more. When they failed, they studied harder. When their bodies resisted, their minds persisted. They knew that growth lives right beyond the pain, right after the "I can't do this anymore" moment. Your body is capable of far more than you give it credit for. Science proves that what we often perceive as physical exhaustion is actually our brain's protective mechanism. It tries to stop us before we reach our true edge, to keep us safe. But safe doesn't lead to greatness. Safety is a comfort zone disguised as a prison. Think of every champion you admire. They didn't win because they were always strong. They won because when they reached their limit, they didn't quit. They trained. They pushed through. They understood that discomfort wasn't a stop sign. It was a green light, a signal to go further. It's time to reprogram your thinking. When you feel tired, ask yourself, is this real or is it resistance? Am I truly out of energy or am I simply facing the edge of what I've known so far? Remember this. The mind quits long before the body ever does. Every time you stretch beyond what you thought you could do, your limits expand. And suddenly, what was once impossible becomes your new normal. The greatest transformations in life begin when you challenge the false ceiling that holds you back. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not incapable. You are simply untrained. And training is available to everyone, regardless of your background, your past, or your current circumstances. You can train your body. You can train your mind. You can train your spirit. All it takes is the willingness to question the lie that says you can't. Every time you tell yourself, I'm tired, add these words, but I'll continue anyway. Every time you whisper, I've had enough, respond with, let's see what I'm really made of. This is how you kill the lie. This is how you grow. Not by believing in limits, but by breaking them. The truth is, most people give up at 40% of their true capacity. That means you've still got 60% left in you, untapped, unexplored, undiscovered. Imagine what your life could look like if you didn't stop at tired. Imagine what kind of success you could build, what strength you could develop, what version of yourself you could unlock. If only you realized that your limits were never real to begin with. It doesn't matter if you failed before. It doesn't matter if the world underestimated you. What matters is what you believe and what you're willing to do about it. You don't need anyone's permission to break your limits. You just need one moment of courage, one decision to keep going, one day where you choose training over quitting. Zrania, this journey is not about motivation alone. Motivation fades, but discipline, the kind that starts when limits appear, that's what builds legends. And it starts here, with this truth. You are not tired. You are untrained. And from today, that changes. Chapter 2. Comfort is the real enemy. Every human being craves comfort. A soft bed, predictable days, familiar routines, and a life free from struggle. We're wired to want these things. And why wouldn't we? Comfort feels safe. It feels good. It wraps around us like a warm blanket and whispers, stay here. You've done enough. But here's the brutal truth. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. It's the silent killer of dreams. The more you chase comfort, the more you trade your potential for temporary ease. Look around at the world's most successful people, not the ones born into privilege, but those who earned their way to the top. You'll find a common thread. They didn't get there by seeking comfort. They chose growth over ease, pain over pleasure, discipline over laziness. They understood a principle that most people ignore. If it's comfortable, it's probably not helping you grow. The most dangerous place to live is not in poverty, not in hardship, not even in chaos. The most dangerous place to live is in comfort without progress. Because comfort is addictive. Once you get used to it, even the idea of change feels threatening. Your goals start to shrink. Your ambition begins to fade. And slowly, without even realizing it, you become a version of yourself that settles for less. Not because you're incapable, but because you're too comfortable to fight for more. Comfort creates illusions. It convinces you that you're doing okay when you're actually standing still. It makes you believe you're resting when you're really rusting. Comfort is the place where dreams go to die. Not with a bang, but with a slow, silent fade. That's what makes it so dangerous. Pain you can feel. Failure you can recognize. But comfort? Comfort disguises itself as peace, while it quietly takes everything you were meant to become. Real growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. Think about it. When do muscles grow? When they're under tension. When does your character evolve? When life tests you. When does your mind expand? When it's challenged by something new, something hard, something that demands more from you than you've ever given. Every meaningful transformation is born from discomfort. But the problem is, our culture glorifies comfort. Everywhere you look, advertisements, social media, entertainment, the message is the same. Make life easier. Avoid hard work. Take the shortcut. It's no surprise that so many people give up as soon as things get difficult. They've been trained to avoid discomfort at all costs. But what they don't realize is that comfort is already costing them everything. Their health, their discipline, their dreams, their self-respect. The life you want is not on the couch. It's not in the extra hour of sleep. It's not in the easy path. It's in the pain you're avoiding, the work you're delaying, the challenge you're dodging. That resistance you feel when something hard comes up, that's not a reason to quit. That's the sign you're on the right path. The obstacle is not blocking the way. The obstacle is the way. If you want to break out of mediocrity, you have to start doing the things most people avoid. Wake up earlier. Take on bigger challenges. Push past your comfort zone every single day. Don't wait to feel ready. Start now, especially when it's hard. Your comfort zone is a cage disguised as freedom. The only way out is to train yourself to stop chasing what feels good and start chasing what makes you grow. There's nothing wrong with resting, but there is a big difference between resting and living in rest. Rest is a pause. Comfort is a habit. Rest is a tool for recovery. Comfort is a trap for regression. Use rest wisely, but never make it your home. If you stay in comfort too long, you'll forget what discomfort felt like. And once you forget the struggle, you'll lose your hunger. Discomfort is a sign of life. It means you're stretching. It means you're building new mental muscles. It means you're doing things your old self would have avoided. So embrace it. Seek it out. Get addicted to the discomfort that leads to discipline. Because if you can learn to love discomfort, you'll become unstoppable. You'll become the kind of person who doesn't need motivation, who doesn't need ideal conditions, who doesn't back down when life gets tough. You'll become dangerous to fear, to excuses, to weakness. Ask yourself honestly, where have I been choosing comfort over growth? In your habits, your health, your goals, your relationships? Somewhere in your life, you've made peace with staying safe, and that peace has come at the cost of your power. It's time to break that peace. Wage war against comfort. Push yourself into situations that force you to evolve. Because every time you choose growth over ease, you take one step closer to the person you're meant to be. This chapter isn't just a warning, it's a call to action. The world needs people who are willing to be uncomfortable in pursuit of something greater. People who don't just talk about dreams, but chase them through pain, sweat, and struggle. You weren't made to sit still. You weren't made to settle. You were built to rise, to grow, to fight, to push. And comfort is the one thing standing in your way. So the next time you're tempted to take the easy route, stop and ask yourself, is this making me better or just making me comfortable? The answer will tell you everything. Choose discomfort. Choose the hard path. Because the life you dream of, the strength, the success, the legacy, it's not found in comfort. It's waiting for you in the fire. Chapter 3. Train the mind, conquer the body. Every battle in life is first fought in the mind. You can have the strongest body, the best resources, the ideal circumstances. But if your mind gives up, nothing else matters. Your body does not control your life. Your mindset does. The mind is the command center. Train it, and your body will follow. Discipline it, and the rest of your life will align with power, direction, and purpose. Most people focus only on physical strength, how much they can lift, how long they can run, how fit they appear. But true transformation starts from the inside. A weak mind can break a strong body, and a strong mind can carry a tired, aching body through storms, deserts, and war zones, both literal and metaphorical. This chapter is not about building muscles. It's about building mental muscle, because that's where everything begins. The difference between the successful and the average is rarely talent. It's mental endurance. When successful people feel tired, they keep going. When they feel fear, they act anyway. When they fail, they learn and return. Why? Because their minds are trained not to accept excuses, distractions, or the easy way out. They've conditioned themselves to see resistance not as a wall, but as a doorway. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your training. And mental training is where most people fail. They read the books, they watch the videos, they make the vision boards, but the moment pressure hits, their inner voice says, "I can't," and they listen to it. That voice is not reality. It's a signal. And like any signal, it can be reprogrammed. Mental training begins with awareness. You must observe your thoughts like a coach watches an athlete, without judgment, but with responsibility. What do you tell yourself when things get hard? Do you give yourself a way out? Do you say, "Just this once, it's okay to quit"? Those little thoughts are mental habits, and mental habits become your life patterns. If you don't train your mind to master those thoughts, they will master you. Repetition is the foundation of training. Just like your body adapts to physical stress, your mind adapts to mental stress. The more you face discomfort, the more your brain learns that it's not dangerous, just unfamiliar. This is where growth begins. Every time you choose to keep going when it's hard, you're laying down new neural pathways. You're literally rewiring your brain for resilience. And yes, training the mind is uncomfortable. It requires facing the exact things you'd rather avoid. Waking up early, saying no to distractions, embracing silence instead of scrolling, sticking to your plan when no one is watching. These aren't heroic acts. They're daily disciplines. But day by day, they carve a new identity. Someone who shows up no matter what. Someone who keeps promises, especially the ones made to themselves. The body follows the mind. Don't believe it? Look at elite athletes, special forces, entrepreneurs, even cancer survivors. They all share one thing, an unbreakable mindset. When their bodies scream, "Stop," their minds whisper, "Just one more step," and they take it. That's not superhuman. That's mental training. Your limits are rarely physical. They are mental boundaries disguised as fatigue, doubt, fear, or hesitation. The good news? These boundaries are not fixed. They're flexible. Every time you challenge them, they stretch. Eventually, what once felt impossible becomes normal. This is how high performers are made. Not in a moment, but in 1,000 daily decisions to push, endure, and rise. If you want a stronger body, train the mind first. Because on the days when your muscles hurt, your energy drops, and life feels like too much. It's not your legs or arms that will carry you. It's your why, your self-discipline, and your inner belief. These live in the mind. Mental training is also about control. Learn to respond instead of react. Most people live in emotional chaos. Happy one minute, frustrated the next, discouraged by a comment, energized by praise. A trained mind is calm in chaos. It doesn't react to every trigger. It stays rooted, focused, unshaken. That's where your power is. Not in emotion, in control. So how do you train your mind? Start small. Wake up when you say you will. Finish what you start. Do something uncomfortable every single day. Meditate for clarity. Reflect for insight. Read to expand. Move your body with intention. And most importantly, don't negotiate with your goals. The more you train your mind to take action regardless of mood, the more unstoppable you become. Remember, the mind, once stretched, never returns to its original shape. Once you taste the power of pushing through when everything inside says stop, you change. That taste becomes addictive, not the pain, but the growth. And from there, nothing is ever the same again. You are not tired. You are not weak. You are simply untrained. And training is a choice. Train the mind and the body, and the life you dream of will follow. Chapter 4. Pain is a sign of growth, not a signal to stop. We live in a world that teaches us to run from pain. From childhood, we're told to avoid discomfort, to pull back when it hurts, to retreat when things get hard. We've been trained to treat pain as a red flag, a signal that something is wrong. But what if we've misunderstood it all along? What if pain isn't a warning to stop, but a whisper to keep going? Pain, contrary to what we've been told, is not always a threat. In fact, it's often the clearest indicator that we are on the edge of growth. Just like sore muscles after a workout, emotional and mental discomfort is often a sign that you're stretching beyond your current limits. You're not breaking, you're becoming. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. That's where dreams go to sleep. True transformation occurs in the moments when you're tempted to quit, when your body begs for rest, when your mind whispers, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" And it's exactly in those moments that you must rise. Because pain is the process, not the punishment. The strongest people in the world, whether in business, athletics, leadership, or life, didn't become who they are by avoiding pain. They became powerful because they understood one thing. Pain is not your enemy. It's your coach. It sharpens your focus, humbles your ego, and builds your capacity. Every setback, every failure, every sleepless night is a step forward, not a step back, if you choose to learn from it. There are two kinds of pain in life: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Discipline demands early mornings, tough choices, and relentless consistency. Regret comes later, quietly but painfully, when you look back at the chances you didn't take, the dreams you abandoned, and the goals you never pursued. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. When pain shows up, most people ask, "How do I get out of this?" But high performers ask, "What is this teaching me?" That shift in mindset changes everything. Pain can either break you, or it can build you. It's not about what happens to you. It's about what you choose to become through it. You're going to be tested. Life will throw setbacks, failures, betrayal, loss, and rejection your way. But none of it can defeat you, unless you surrender. You were never meant to live a life of avoidance. You were built for resistance. And every moment you endure, every second you fight through the pain, you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. Too often we think we're failing when we're actually growing. Growth feels messy. It's not a clean, straight path. It's uncomfortable, unpredictable, and often lonely. But that's what makes it real. The pain you feel today is shaping the strength you'll carry tomorrow. The tears you cry now are watering the roots of your future success. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. When your legs shake, your breath shortens, and your mind says, "I can't," that's when the real work begins. That's when average people quit and warriors rise. Don't confuse exhaustion with defeat. Don't mistake discomfort for danger. You're not dying. You're transforming. Understand this. Pain is temporary, but the strength it leaves behind is permanent. You may suffer today, but what you build from it will last a lifetime. Champions aren't made in moments of glory. They're forged in the fire of pain, failure, and persistence. So the next time pain knocks on your door, don't hide. Open it. Face it. Learn from it. Welcome it like a trainer, because that's exactly what it is. It's shaping you into the kind of person who can handle the dreams you're chasing. It's preparing you for the life you said you wanted. This is the test. This is the threshold. The question is not, can you avoid the pain? The real question is, can you walk through it and become someone greater on the other side? You can, and you will. Because pain was never sent to stop you. It was sent to wake you up. Chapter 5. You're built for more. Now prove it. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must look in the mirror and answer a simple but powerful question. Am I really giving it my all? Or have I just been playing it safe? Most people don't fail because they are weak. They fail because they never fully showed up. They let fear drive the car, let comfort tighten its grip, and let doubt become louder than their potential. They settle for good enough, even when greatness was calling their name. But not you. Not anymore. This chapter isn't here to motivate you with soft words or temporary hype. It's here to remind you, to wake you up, that you were built for more. Not just physically, not just mentally, but in every fiber of your being. There's a deeper strength inside you, a sharper focus, a higher gear, and the only thing standing between you and the next level is proof, not potential. Proof. Potential is nice. It makes people feel good. It allows them to dream. But potential without action is just a lie we tell ourselves to feel better about standing still. You don't need more motivational videos or more quotes on your wall. You need one thing: execution. You already know what to do. You know what habits you need to build. You know what distractions are holding you back. You know what version of yourself you're avoiding. So stop pretending. The next level of your life will demand a next-level version of you. That means more discipline, more courage, more consistency, more sacrifice, less excuses. You weren't designed to be average. That's why mediocrity feels uncomfortable. That's why when you waste time, scroll endlessly, or skip the gym, something inside you stings. That sting isn't guilt. It's your soul reminding you that you were built for more. But here's the truth. Being built for more doesn't mean you'll automatically get more. It doesn't mean life will hand it to you. It means you have the capacity, the tools, the spirit to reach greater heights. But you still have to climb. You still have to show up when it's boring, when it's painful, when no one's watching and everything in you wants to quit. You think you're tired? You're not tired. You're untested. You haven't even scratched the surface of your capabilities. The real you, the focused, fired up, relentless you, is still waiting behind your fears, behind your laziness, behind your old stories. Stop lying to yourself. You don't need a new plan. You need to honor the one you already have. You don't need a new dream. You need to stop abandoning the one that's been calling to you for years. If you could see who you're capable of becoming, how strong, how sharp, how unstoppable, you'd never doubt yourself again. But instead of waiting for someone else to see it in you, go prove it to yourself. Prove it by getting up early even when you're tired. Prove it by showing up on the days you don't feel like it. Prove it by doing the hard things even when no one is clapping for you. Prove it by keeping your word, not just to others, but to yourself. You were built for more. Now prove it. This world doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. Your goals don't care how you feel. They only respond to what you do. And the best part? You don't need anyone's permission to begin. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to take the next step. There will be resistance. There will be doubt. There will be setbacks. But you are not a fragile version of yourself anymore. You are becoming bulletproof through discipline, through hardship, through refusal to quit. The people who win in life are not the ones who always feel confident. They're the ones who act boldly even when they're scared. They're the ones who stay locked in when others check out. They're the ones who keep moving forward, not because it's easy, but because they've made a decision. So make your decision, not tomorrow, not next Monday. Now decide that you're done living under your potential. Decide that you'll no longer settle for halfway. Decide that from this day forward, your life will be a reflection of your discipline, not your distractions. You're not tired. You're just untrained. And now you've been trained, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So no more waiting. Go prove it. Conclusion. You've reached the end of this book, but the beginning of your new self. You've discovered that what felt like exhaustion was never about energy. It was about belief. The limits you thought were real were only mental walls built by fear, comfort, and the habit of stopping too soon. But not anymore. Because now you know the truth. You're not tired. You're untrained. And training can begin at any moment, even now. This book wasn't written to make you feel good for a few minutes. It was written to wake you up, to stir the fire that's been buried under self-doubt, to remind you that you are capable of more, not someday, but today. The pain you feel is part of the path. The resistance you face is a teacher, and the greatness within you is not a fantasy. It's a responsibility. From this point on, there are no more excuses. No more, "I'll start tomorrow." No more blaming your past, your environment, or your energy. You've read the truth. You've felt the shift. And now, you must act. But you don't have to walk alone. Join me and thousands of others who are choosing discipline over comfort, growth over fear, and power over passivity. Subscribe. Follow the mission. Be part of the Untrained to Unstoppable movement. Because this is not just a book. This is the beginning of a transformation. Train harder. Think deeper. Grow stronger. And always remember, you're not tired. You're just untrained. But now, you're becoming unstoppable.